All right, we are live. I am so excited. Let me make sure that I'm squared away and good to go. Let me move this screen here. All right, look at that. We are live on YouTube. My goodness. It's kind of crazy down there. Let me slide this up a little bit. So I was, see if that's going to work. Yeah, it's not too bad. So I was reading through a book that I'm going to share with you. I reflect back on this book a lot. It's called The Encyclopedia of Stage Hypnosis. It's not just stage hypnosis. It has so many other things in it that you can learn. Being a hypnotist, I want to make sure I'm sharp and I'm on top of my game and getting better and better every day. So I'm always looking at books like these and other books, just trying to sharpen my skills. Another book that I often go to is this book right here. It's called The Silva Method by Jose Silva. Highly recommended. If you're into personal growth, excuse me. If you're into personal growth, I highly recommend it. It's one of the books that I also go back and forth to, just doing a lot of visualization, because that book actually is one that I learned about the powers of hypnosis and the mind before I actually got certified as a master hypnotist. I'm gonna keep it right here with me because I know I'm gonna be reflecting back to it throughout this video. The reason for doing this live because I created a protocol that I think is gonna be really, really powerful. I'm gonna be demoing it tomorrow, but I just wanted to put it out there and kind of really document this process. So if you don't know me, I'm Derrick Wali Anderson. I am a certified master hypnotist. I'm an author. I wrote the book Never Wait for Monday, as well as Calming the Storm, working on another book right now. And I like to write. I like to document what I'm learning and things that I'm processing on a day-to-day basis. And something came to mind. So I'm kind of obsessed with not being stuck in procrastination. It drives me crazy. The thought of being stuck in something drives me crazy. So I've been really leaning on this thing right here. It says MBA, but it stands for Next Best Action. Next Best Action, or MBA. You're going to hear me refer to it a lot going forward. I'm creating more and more protocols to help within hypnosis to get people from a position of being stuck and taking that next best action to ultimately get a favorable outcome. Now, I had an issue yesterday. I'm not sure if you guys are aware of it, but I had an issue where I tried to go live on YouTube like I'm doing right now, and I could not go live on YouTube. So I took it personally right out the gate. I'm not gonna lie to you or sugarcoat it. I took it personally, and I made it my business to show up more frequently and consistently. It's the biggest thing. Being more consistent is always gonna get me to the goal where I want. Now, yesterday I had 7 subscribers on YouTube, and the cutoff or the threshold that I needed to be at was 50 subscribers on YouTube to go live, which I tried to do from my phone. I think I was parked or waiting for my kids to get done with school. That's usually when I like to go live and just pop in and just drop something that's been on my mind. But yesterday I couldn't do that. Today I can. And I did not hit 50 subscribers yet, but I found a workaround. I found the way to get to the goal. I took the next best action. Initially, I made a contract with myself and I said, hey, I'm going to get to this 50 subscribers as quickly as possible, and I'm going to do it no matter what. So I made a contract or a pact with myself saying that I'm going to go live on the major social media platforms over the next 60-day period every single day, which is a big deal for me because I don't very often go live. Really, I never. The first time I went live on TikTok was yesterday, and I had a blast with that, so I'll be doing that more and more. But I wasn't the type of guy to go live. But when I felt that rejection from not having the capability to do that from my phone, I said I got to figure it out. So the first thing I was going to do is take the next best action. So YouTube said yesterday I couldn't go live because I didn't have 50 subscribers. So I said, hey, the way to get 50 subscribers from my knowledge yesterday was to be out there and post more frequently, publish the content, not get stuck in my head about the quality of the content, how it looks, and being a perfectionist about it, but actually publishing. I was putting all my stake and all my stock into publishing. Till I got to that 50 subscribers, then I would have been able to go live. Today, even though I made that pact with myself, and I'm going to hold myself accountable to it for a whole 60 days, I'm going to hold myself accountable to that goal of going live on the major platforms like YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, maybe even LinkedIn too. I got to write that down. I was just thinking of those three, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. But if LinkedIn, I can make LinkedIn work. I can figure that out. Yeah, I'll do that too. I go live on those 4 platforms, and I believe Instagram and Facebook, they kind of share something because they both owned by Meta. So I'll figure that out. But I'll be going live 60 days straight on these platforms and just see what it does. And I'm making this video because yesterday my thing was making a pact with myself and showing up, being consistent, doing it frequently, showing up early and often. Today, I thought it got to be another way. It has to be another way to achieve this goal of going live, even though I'm not going to backtrack on the promise I made myself yesterday. So thank you for that, brother. I appreciate it. So what I did was I started to look out for some tools and some software to help me accomplish my goal. Now, always I'm going to look for things that are open source. If you don't know what open source is, it's basically a tool or software that you can utilize and achieve your goals absolutely for free. So I found this tool called, you guys may be familiar with it, it's called OBS Studio, if I'm not mistaken. After doing some research, OBS Studio, I figured out that it take a little more tech savvy to set it up, but you can go live using this tool without having the required subscribers. So it's a workaround. So I did that, and those 2 things, me going live, me earning 7 more subscribers, and having 7 more than I had previously yesterday, was me taking the next best action. I'm going to refer to this so much. You're going to hear me say it over and over again because this wasn't me a few months ago, if I'm being completely honest and transparent. Taking the next best action wasn't always the go-to for me. Sometimes I would sit around and take action that didn't move me forward. But now I'm seeing things a whole lot differently. And that's based on the work that I've been doing with myself mentally, the self-hypnosis, things like that, and really just drilling down on the problems or the issues that we're having, because there's always a next best action that you can take to get a favorable outcome. Now here's a protocol that I'm creating, and I was actually thinking about it, thinking it through, and I'm going to put it in the test. But it revolves around the next best action. Because when you work on things in the subconscious mind, let me preface with that, when you work on things with the subconscious mind, the subconscious, while you're in that state of hypnosis, that really relaxed, completely aware, in control state of hypnosis, the mind is not subjected to, well, when you get past the critical mind, the subconscious mind just really opens up, and you can do a lot more things and really explore the inner workings of your mind. And what I decided to create was a protocol to help people take that next best action, because a lot of times people start with a problem. They start with a problem, right? You get in that problem, you're stuck in that problem, and you don't really know how to move forward. Or even if you do know how to move forward, bottom line is you're not taking steps to get yourself over that hump, and you're not taking that next best action. Now, I wrote a book, Never Wait for Monday. I'm gonna grab it real quick. It talks a little bit, actually a lot, about my journey. And this is one of the books, the sample books that I got from Amazon when I first published it. But it talks a lot about my journey with overcoming procrastination and the transformation that I can make in my life. So, getting over the problem, getting over that hump, not being stuck in procrastination and waffling off, but figuring out a way to take that next best action. Because when you put the problem to work, and then you have a next best action, which we do in the subconscious level or the hypnotic level. When we're in hypnosis, we do this cognitively. So I will sit down with a client, to make sure I spell right, so I don't have anybody talking crazy. So we take the problem, we discuss the problem in a cognitive state, and then while we're in hypnosis, we're able to access the subconscious mind, because the subconscious mind is going to lead you to that thing, that next best action that you need to take to get that favorable outcome. That's what it's all about. I'm just going to put outcome. But problem, next best action, let me just put in here likely favorable outcome, just in case, okay? But that's the whole goal. And what I did was I created a series of protocols. So I've read a lot about this book and visualization and how it works. Jose Silva was a genius. He since passed on and left us, but he left us with some gems. One of the things he talks about inside of that book is the mental screen, and the things that you can do with the mental screen while you're in a state of hypnosis. I believe they call it something else in the book, but I can't remember what the name of it is. They use a different terminology, but you're basically in a relaxed state. They call it the alpha state. Because the mind has brain waves, basically 4 primary brain waves. Typically, in the normal waking days, you're in the beta state, right? That's where you do the logical, the analytical, the processing, all those things. Then the next level up is that alpha level, where you're more relaxed. It's easier for you to learn in this level. Then it's theta. That is deep, really deep relaxation. And delta, of course, is sleep, okay? So the Jose Silva method is focused on being in that alpha state where you can learn new skills and improve yourself very, very easily. Hypnosis can be in alpha or it can be in theta, either way. The deeper you are, the better, obviously. But also, let me caveat that it depends on the issue, because some issues, like for example, like a nail biting or something like that, you want to be in a light state of hypnosis. If you're doing habit control, other issues, you want to be a little bit deeper. But let me not get sidetracked. Back to the mental screen. And the protocol that I developed is basically going to have me work with a client in the cognitive portion. That's basically like the first 10 minutes of you being in session, talking about the problems, figuring out how we want to go about solving the problem, and then getting you in hypnosis, which is done many different ways. Some of my favorite techniques are breathing. I usually work on the breathing techniques first. Always start with the breathing. It's a good tool to have whether you're doing hypnosis or not. If you're in a stressful situation, if you're going into an interview, or if you're a student and you're going into a test, you want to be able to do what I call a 1-minute reset. And a 1-minute reset, simply, it takes you out of what we call fight or flight. You guys probably aware of those states. There's a few others that they added on throughout the years, but it's fight, flight, freeze, fawn, on and on and on. But typically, fight and flight, you're in the state where you need to react because you're doing it because you need to be safe. So you're gonna need to protect yourself, or you're gonna need to flee that threat. Okay, so either flee or engage, basically is what it turns out to be. But there's also another state that's not fight or flight or sympathetic nervous system, working on that angle. It's the parasympathetic nervous system. And that's where you're getting into rest or digest, where you're safe, you're in a good space. So this 1-minute reset that I'm about to demonstrate and teach to you guys can help you get to that state, help you relax, shift out of beta a bit, and be able to learn more and be able to see things very, very clearly. So the 1-minute reset is basically 5 repetitions of breathing breathing. So in this breathing, the sequence is this: you'll breathe for 3 seconds, you'll inhale through your nose for 3 seconds, then you will hold it for 3 seconds, and then you will exhale for 6 seconds. Okay, so it'll look like this. Inhale, I will guide you through, of course. I'm your advocate throughout this whole process. In hypnosis, it's not me doing anything to you, it's us doing it together. So we're working together as a team. I'm guiding you, and you're doing all the heavy lifting, so to speak, because you're going to be using your imagination. You're going to be using your visualization, like we talked about with the mental screen from this book, and you're going to be doing the heavy lifting. I'm just going to be your guide, guiding you along in the journey. Okay, so I'm going to guide you through this process really quickly. I'll just do it one time so you get a feel of how it feels, and just have an idea of what it's like to experience it. So you would inhale through your nose, and I would say 1, 2, 3, and hold 2, 3, and exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we would do that 5 times. So you would inhale through your nose for 3 seconds, hold for 3 seconds, and then exhale out your mouth for a count of 6. I almost messed myself up. But you'll do that 5 times. 5 times 12 equals 60, 1 minute reset. And that's going to shift you out of that fight and flight stage if you're in there, and just help you to calm down and get to that rest and digest and just relax and get your body calm, right? So I would do that, and amongst some other things, but that'll be usually where I start working in session to get somebody nice and relaxed. And then I'll just move you further down the process. I would probably do something like a what we call a progressive relaxation or a body scan to get you out of your mind and focus on your body. So I would do either a left to right or a head to foot. So a left to right will probably be something like, I want you to visualize, picture, pretend, or get a sense of a damp towel or washcloth in your left hand, and imagine it being limp and relaxed. Now let that relaxation spread from left to right all the way across, and then back from right to left is what I would do. And or I would do like a body scan from head to toe. Sometimes I would do like a calming cloud. It just depends on the person. But I'll have a calming cloud of relaxation start from your head and move all the way down your body. And then when you get to the soles of your feet, I will have it come back up, relaxing you twice as deep as the state that you are now. So forth and so on. So it'll be a progressive relaxation. Now I'll probably count you down from 5 to 0. I would say deep sleep, put you in hypnosis. And then I would probably do something like, depends, I would probably do something like a staircase induction. Well, I would have you see yourself at the top of a staircase, 20 steps in total. And on the way down, you're getting more and more relaxed with every step that you take down, taking you deeper and deeper into a state of relaxation. Then I get you all nice and relaxed. I would start to go to work. This is when I start to plant the seeds while we're in hypnosis and give the suggestions, okay? Depending on the type of person you are, the suggestions may be different. If you're somebody who learned more directly like me, I would give you suggestions like, I want you to notice, or I would say it's a door not too far from you. Give me a head nod when you see that door, when you notice that door. If you're somebody who's more emotional or needs suggestions to be more inferred and not literal or direct, like the first example, I would say, I want you to notice or get a sense of a door that could be near to you. Something like that, really open for that person to fully have control and do it themselves. Where a person who is direct or more literal, I would tell them, it's a door nearby, go to that door, or give me a head nod when you see that door. Does that make sense for you guys? All right, so then after that, after getting in that state of hypnosis, I'll do a few other things. Then I will start working on the problem in hypnosis, because the subconscious mind is going to help me or help us solve that problem. Because if we were still alert and awake in this cognitive state, I may say, okay, if a person says, I'm stuck at making $50,000 a month and my business is stalling and I want to go to the next level. If I was to ask that person in session, why do you think you're stalling? And he would probably say to me, I don't know, that's why I came to you. So then I would do something. I would have him in hypnosis, and I would say something like, I would give a suggestion like, the subconscious mind knows the next best step for you in your business. And then I will say something like, I want you to visualize, imagine, picture, pretend, or get a sense of a screen in front of you. As if I would build it out, give more details as if you were in a movie theater. But I would be looking at a mental screen. That's something I learned from this book. And then I would say, your subconscious mind knows what's the next best step for you to move past 50,000 a month into 75,000 a month, or whatever the goal is. You understand where I'm going with it? We would get these answers in a hypnotic state, and it will be better for us to do that because the ego is removed. Because the subconscious mind knows. Ego is out of it, so it's just not going to be pulling things that you think would work in a cognitive state. You're more likely to get the answers from your subconscious mind. And we would do that. And then based on the problem, the next best action, we will be moving toward a result, which is likely going to be a favorable outcome. That's just one protocol that has come to me over the last couple of hours that I've been kind of working out. And I'm going to continue to work on it and build out the details. Just want to get some feedback. Just want to get some feedback from you guys. I know I said a lot about hypnosis. Just want to get y'all thoughts on hypnosis overall. Anything that I may have moved too fast on, anything that you want me to clarify, drop it in the comments. Also, have any one of you been hypnotized before? That's something I'm curious about, because you hear some of the strangest things online. I had somebody tell me that they thought hypnosis was mind control, and that's not what it is. I know movies, for example, Get Out is one of those things where people think they're going to go to the sunken place. Definitely not taking to the sunken place. Here, we're working on goals for your betterment and you being the next best version of yourself. That's what it's all about. So you don't have to worry about going to the sunken place. You don't have to worry about me having you bark like a dog or quack like a chicken. I'm not even going to waste your time or mine, because I'm not in it to get laughs and giggles. I'm in this to help people make real time transformation. That's what it's all about. I'm your champion. I'm your advocate. I want to see you go to the next level and break through all of those little areas of where you may be feeling stuck at. That's my goal and my job, to get you to that next level. So any questions that you guys about anything that I've covered over these last couple minutes, reach out. Always, if you guys are interested in a strategy session, you want to figure out if hypnosis can work for you and whatever your unique issue is, feel free to reach out. You can reach me on all the socials, Derrick Wali Anderson, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, the whole bit. Or you can just leave a comment here. Another way you can reach out to me is you can shoot me a quick email. Derrick, Derrick, at dreamwiththedeadline.com. Just shoot me a quick email, or just visit my website, dreamwiththedeadline.com, and I'll be happy to connect with you. My calendar is on there, of course. If you want to set aside some time to work on any specific issues, or just figure out if hypnosis can work for you, reach out. I'm happy to help, here to serve. That's all I have for you guys today. I pray that you guys have great days. I pray that you guys are out there crushing your goals and just doing amazing, interesting things. But I'll see you guys on the next time. I'm Derrick Wali Anderson, founder of Dream with a Deadline, author of Never Wait for Monday, Calming the Storm, and I'm a certified master hypnotist and performance coach. I will see you guys on the next one. Have a great day.